about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And as I was on YouTube scrolling to look for some Dallas Cowboys content, I stumbled across the Mina Kimes Show starring Mina Kimes. Her and JP Acosta went over the entire NFL and each team's X factor when it comes to the 2025 NFL season. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all. Y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the first clip from the Mina Kimes Show.
I'm going to go with an offensive player, and this is not a hipster pick at all. I think it's George Pickens.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. There's nobody else on the offense that, outside of CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, is more important to this team than Pickens. It's very funny because George Pickens is good at maybe like 2 things on the field, but when he is focused and playing to his potential, he is one of the best players in the NFL at those 2 specific things, which is running slants and running fades down the sideline. And you think about what the Cowboys offense was when they were super good. And I think it is having a guy like Michael Gallup on the outside who could win those contested catch situations down the field. It was an Amari Cooper who allowed CeeDee Lamb to do all the movement stuff. If George Pickens can do that stuff without trying to fight Mike Sainristil every 3 plays, the offense, again, has layers. And now you take so much heat off of CeeDee Lamb.
You know, Mina Kimes and JP Acosta are absolutely right in this whole situation. It is George Pickens. George Pickens is that X factor for the Dallas Cowboys. Whether it's him being able to get in there and catch those contested passes, or to be able to get in there and take the pressure off of CeeDee Lamb as well as the run game, George Pickens is a welcome addition to the Dallas Cowboys. You know, I don't want to spill all my raw and uncut, so we're going to go ahead and get into the second clip. Let's go ahead and roll the clip from the Mina Kimes Show.
Over the last 3 years, George Pickens is 3rd league-wide in deep catches, over 20 yards. CeeDee Lamb is 5th, despite the fact that both these quarterbacks over the last 3 years have had to play with both receivers, have had to play with quarterbacks. In that same time, Dak Prescott is 2nd league-wide in completion percentage over expected on deep balls. If Pickens is consistent at all, he lifts the ceiling of this offense so high because of the quarterback and the other wide receiver. And they're going to open up things for the run game. I mean, defenses are not going to play a lot of single high against this team, right?
Yeah.
You're sending out your quarterbacks to die. So to me, we can talk about the run defense. Yeah, we can talk about whether or not, there's a million other things with the Dallas Cowboys. But the case for them either, being a playoff team really, to me, comes down to whether or not this offense can go to the degree he suddenly makes them capable of going.
See, Cowboys Nation, this is what I'm scared of. I am scared of the fact that it goes as far as the offense is going to take them, that the offense can run up the scoreboard, but the defense can't stop a nosebleed. This is why I'm trying to warn Cowboys Nation that it looks familiar, that we have gone down this road before, that we've seen all this play out before, and we got to get ahead of it, Cowboys Nation. We got to get ahead of it. But go ahead and jump into the third clip so we can get in to this raw and uncut.
And I think it makes a lot of sense to invest in a guy like Pickens because of offensive coordinator Clayton Adams comes from Arizona. He was the offensive line coach with the Cardinals, and they did a lot of stuff out of 2 backs, 12 personnel, 13 personnel, getting bigger bodies on the field, which meant you're going to only play George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb as your 2 receivers. If you can remain explosive out of 12 personnel, you create so many different problems for defenses. You open up the run game, like you said. If you want to try and spin somebody into the box because of the run game, then you're leaving your corners one-on-one with a guy who, like you said, can win down the field. So if Pickens is focused and Pickens wants to be here, this offense can get really dangerous really quickly.
This is what I'm talking about, Cowboys Nation. If you can go in there and have 12 personnel with the Dallas Cowboys offense, 13 personnel with the Dallas Cowboys offense, or a jumbo set, the run game's going to flourish. That's going to have the defenses stack the box on the run game to try and combat that jumbo set, leaving CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens out there on the perimeters to be one-on-one with the defensive backs. This is a great idea, and I hope that the Dallas Cowboys take a little bit of advice when it comes to content creators as well as some of the talking heads out there. But you know what? Y'all ready for this Raw and Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Let me go ahead and put this football down real quick. Cowboys Nation, this is what I've been saying, that ever since we got George Pickens to the fold in the Dallas Cowboys, things are starting to look up. It was a necessary jolt that the Dallas Cowboys fan base and the Cowboys team needed from last year. Yes, we lost a lot of our starters last year. We lost our QB1 to a season-ending injury, but we got him back this year. We got all the guys that went down to injury this year. While adding George Pickens to the fold, that frees up a lot of stuff for CeeDee Lamb, and it frees up a lot of stuff for Jalen Tolbert to be an X factor on this offense. But the reason why I say that George Pickens is the X factor is because he could do everything that we wanted Michael Gallup to do and more. George Pickens is healthy, doesn't have any knee injuries like Michael Gallup suffered from. Knock on wood. But George Pickens will be able to play that perimeter alongside of CeeDee Lamb. And if we have 12 or 13 personnel, we got that jumbo set up in there, then you leave them one-on-one. And when you leave them one-on-one, both CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens has the ability to burn their defenders. I love this, Cowboys Nation. I love the addition of George Pickens, and I truly believe that he is the X factor when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. And speaking of the Mina Kimes Show with Mina Kimes and JP Acosta, I love the fact that they just broke down the entire NFL when it came to the X factor for each team. You know, you have a lot of talking heads out there that will give their perspective when it comes to those teams and show some bias whenever they get to those teams. This is why I respect Mina Kimes so much. She comes to the set and she leaves her biases at the door. I don't know who her team is. I don't know who Mina Kimes roots for in the NFL. All I know is that it's an unbiased analysis of each team and each X factor on that team. I appreciate that so much. That's what I've been looking for from the 3 and 4 letter networks. This is what I actually relish for when it comes to analysis of the NFL and my Dallas Cowboys. But Cowboys Nation, we are looking at a time where we have 2 dogs at the wide receiver position, something that we haven't had in 4 years. I mean, the last time that we had this was when Amari Cooper was with the team. And we know what happened to Amari Cooper. He went to the Cleveland Browns in a crazy-ass trade from Jerry Jones. But now that we have George Pickens in the fold, we have somebody that takes the pressure off of CeeDee Lamb. We have somebody that is a dog and won't take any lip from a defensive back on the defense of an opposing team. He's not going to let anybody just push him around. And if they do, he is going to return that same energy. This is the reason why I like George Pickens. This is the reason why I think George Pickens will kind of rub off on CeeDee Lamb while CeeDee Lamb rubs off on George Pickens. You know, his work ethic. You know, let's not get it twisted. No Diddy. You know what I'm saying? But Cowboys Nation, I am truly excited about what's going to happen this year. I'm truly excited with our wide receiver core. I'm excited about our offensive line. I want to see what Jadon Blue has to offer the backfield of the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to see what Dak Prescott can do after this season-ending hamstring injury. Cowboys Nation, I truly feel that we're in good hands this year. Is it a Super Bowl contending team? Probably not, just for the simple fact that it's Brian Schottenheimer's first year, and we still have the Achilles heel of not being able to stop the run, not having a big body person in that nose tackle, one tech type of position. We don't have that yet. And then on top of that, we're talking about Jack Sanborn or Kenneth Murray. Will Kenneth Murray be the green dot? Will Jack Sanborn be the green dot? Will they move Kenneth Murray to the weak side linebacker position? These are the questions that we have. What type of cornerbacks are we going to put out there on the field? Is it going to be up to the offense to get things done while the defense still can't stop a nosebleed? This is why I was warning people about how familiar this looked with the 2021, 2022, and 2023 seasons. The Dallas Cowboys are looking that they're loading up to be front runners yet again, Cowboys Nation. We can't have that. We got to be able to battle these opposing offenses with our defense. We got to be able to stop the run. Do we have a great pass rush? By all means, we do. We got dogs at that defensive end spot. We got dogs at the 3-tech position if you move Marshawn Nealon into that 3-tech with Oso Digizawa. Mozzie, you're gonna have to make a leap, bro. You are going to have to make a leap for the Dallas Cowboys this year. But do I feel comfortable in this offense? You damn right I do. And did you hear all the statistics when it came to Dak Prescott being second in the league with bombs down the field? Come on, Cowboys Nation. You don't get that from a player that sucks, but we'll get into that in a later date, probably on a live. And I know y'all wondering where I've been at with my live. I will touch base with you guys on that. But as far as the X Factor, George Pickens is the X Factor for the Dallas Cowboys, and I hope he goes out there with that mentality, with that X Factor mentality, with that Dez Bryant mentality that if you throw it in my direction, if you throw it in my vicinity, I'm coming down with that ball. So let's see how much of a dog George Pickens can be this year. Let's see how much pressure that he relieves from CeeDee Lamb as well as Dak Prescott, and let's see what this offense can do. Minicamp and training camp is about to start, so we will see what players end up being on that 53-man roster. And Cowboys Nation, as far as the backfield, I hope Phil Maffa is a part of that backfield. I hope that Jadon Blue is a part of that backfield. Javonte Williams is a part of that backfield, as well as Deuce Vaughn. We still rooting for you out here, Deuce Vaughn. We still want you to get those reps. And when we got an offensive lines coach like Conor Riley, I can see Deuce Vaughn being snuck in the game plan, being put in the game plan, and it actually working for him. Because Mike McCarthy, what did he do? Inside zones with a little Deuce Vaughn. Conor Riley and Clayton Adams with Brian Schottenheimer, they're going to scheme him good, just like I feel they're going to scheme George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. As far as the X Factor, let's see what George Pickens has, and let's see if he can throw up that X like Dez Bryant. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys Nation, what did you feel about what Mina Kimes and JP Acosta had to say? Do you feel that George Pickens is the X Factor for the Dallas Cowboys this coming season? Y'all know how we do it. We always talk about it in the comments section. But if you're digging this content and want to help get the Angry Cowboys fan to the milestone of 10,000 subscribers, we are 70 away, Cowboys Nation. Drop a like on this video and please consider sharing it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and you believe in this Dallas Cowboys team, especially the offense, defense needs some help, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdown, or Madden 25 or college football 25 gameplay. And once again, Cowboys Nation, your man, the Angry Cowboys fan, has opened up a new channel, and it's devoted to the other teams of the NFC East. We're going to have Philadelphia Eagles content. We're going to have New York Giants content. We're going to have Washington Commanders content. We're going to have people who represent those teams talking one-on-one with your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. So if you are a fan of a team in the NFC East that's not the Dallas Cowboys, go ahead over there, hit that subscribe button so we can get in there and represent the NFC East. But I will tell you, when you're playing the Dallas Cowboys, I don't give a shit. It's Dallas Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. That's who we're rooting for. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Again, I love you, Rick, and I'm out.
This shit right
Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.